Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live right now, basically going through questions and answers. The whole program is basically you get to call in. Phone number is very simple. It is 407-279-1754. I'm putting it right into the chat right now. Again, 407-279-1754. There are some basic rules. No question stacking. Ask your first question, maybe a second. Have a fake name. Always use a fake name. No story mode. Have your legal question ready. And basically, we're just going to be doing some like skin deep, not super deep level answers because I don't know your whole file. We've got the first person on the phone. Okay, good, sir. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Yeah, so when I applied for disability the first time, I met a listing, autism spectrum disorder,
Sure.
and went through a long list of how I met it. So when I applied for a redetermination, continuing disability review, it said I didn't meet the listing that I met at the beginning. But my condition didn't change, the listing didn't change, and they approved me. Well, I'm trying to understand, when my condition stayed the same, the listing stayed the same, how can I not meet it the second time?
Let me think real quick. So basically, you had an initial three-step approval where you met the listing. Then they did an 8-step, pulled it away from you, and said you didn't meet the listing. With the review that you went through in the CDR, did they use the original standards that you were found disabled under?
Yes, originally they said they did. They approved me, I'm assuming, a vocational allowance. Because they said I didn't have any medical improvement. I didn't have any worsening. So it's kind of confused me. If I met it before, why wouldn't I meet it again if nothing's changed?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, all right. So what were the arguments that they used? What did they put in the DDE? Like, what? Give me some details here.
Okay. Well, the second time they basically said the condition has not changed despite despite medical improvement. Originally, they went through step by item, line by line in the listing, saying he has this. This is how he compares. This is how he compares, et cetera, et cetera. At the beginning, they said he seems to meet the autism spectrum listing without, reading the several paragraph explanation.
Mm-hmm.
How I met every individual piece.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, walk me through what medical evidence changed that gave them the firepower to go against you.
I don't know. My psychologist just wrote a thing basically saying my age, how old I am. I may have held a part-time job. I think I held a part-time job, but not at substantial gainful, well below substantial gainful by probably $300-400. I had tried jobs a little higher, but I couldn't maintain it for more than a month at a time. And so I had doctors from my original diagnosis of what they used to approve me the first time. It was probably, 8, 9, 10 pages long. And that's, since I had gotten freshly diagnosed, I didn't have much more than that the first time. But they gave it to me under the listing. So that's why I was kind of confused. They didn't really say much for the continuing disability review other than the fact that my condition has not changed.
All right. So you don't know what was the specific thing that they used against you to basically pull you out of essentially a full listing level criteria allowance. Royalty 72, Diana, thank you for the 99-cent donation. Super awesome. A little happy face there. So, all right. So let's talk about areas when it comes to that particular impairment where they tend to grab evidence. So, have you read through your most recent medical reports to see how the doctor had stated from medication being used that you might have improved?
I have not. I have not been taking any medication for my autism.
Okay, well, so that's a big issue. How do you make it work without taking medication?
How do I make what work?
How do you make it so that you're able to function at a decent level? Because remember, they're looking for people at listing level where they're taking medication because they can't do basic household functions, cooking, cleaning, laundry, paying bills, etc. If you're
mine is I have lacked the nonverbal I can't sense the nonverbal communication things, whether it be tone of voice, whether it be facial expressions, whether it be gestures. my brain won't recognize it at all. It can do the verbal some because with literal, but if anything's other than literal, I just can't do it. And communication really is ineffective. In fact, sometimes it's even, I assume they mean something completely opposite or different than what they intended because I can't use the others to interpret the verbal better.
All right. So first off, medication is a red flag for them because, they're going to be looking for that. Next thing, let's talk about, crisis treatment. Usually they look for people on medication. The medication's not working. Police report happens, or you get into a fight with your parents, or, basically you're talking about, issues with basic functional upkeep, hygiene related functions. Is there any report from a doctor saying that you are having difficulty or that you had a crisis related situation that caused you to have difficulty with hygiene, or you got into a fight or something like that?
Well, the only thing I could think would for hygiene would basically be knowing what clothes to wear, when. I can basically do, and I showed on my report, I can basically do most household chores, but my handicap's communication. I live by myself, so I really don't have anybody to communicate at home with because I live by myself. But most household chores, functions I can do. And this has basically been the same all my life.
Man, I got to be honest with you. You're selling me very clearly that you're not listing level.
Well, that's why I was confused why they gave me listing level in the first place.
Because, what this comes down to based on your age is you got to get a vocational allowance. And I mean, have you ever worked or done a job or anything like that?
Many, many times. I've held 29 jobs actually. Mm-hmm. And most of them, especially since 2013 or 14, have been low-level jobs, lower and lower in terms of the skills needed for the job. I'm at the bottom. I can't maintain or do substantial gainful activity. I've tried multiple times. Most of my jobs are very short. They see the autism and out the door you go. So I've shown through failure that I can't do a substantial gainful job for much longer than about a month.
All right. So where's the claim at right now? Like, where's it at right now?
Well, I'm between continuing disability reviews right now. It's just when I listen to your show, I'm trying to think like, why did they make the decision they do? I've looked at both determination disability reports, and that's why. And I was kind of surprised actually they approved me the first time, and I have not had to go to reconsideration ever. They've just done it on the first time.
Yeah, but at the same time, that was way back in the day. And as a result of that,
one of them was 2016, and the other was 2020.
When was the first one? The original, was that 2016?
2016.
Yeah, you were right before the big changeover in 2017. That's when Commissioner Saul came in and changed a bunch of stuff, and the culture changed as well. But all right, so what you're really getting at with this situation is you're saying, "Hey, what do I do?" And to be fair, do you have recent failed work attempts?
Oh, many. Since I've been on it, since I've been on disability, I probably held 5 to 7 jobs plus self-employment of about 1,300 a year or less.
Okay.
And it's spread out throughout the different months. It was not concentrated in one month. So the max is probably around $300 in a given month or less.
Now I got to pop to the next caller because I'm only supposed to do 5 to 7 minutes per call, but call in on Thursday and we'll catch up then. Okay.
All right. You have a good day. Thank
you as well. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Okay. Bye-bye. Perfect. We're going to take the next caller real quick. Here we go. It's ringing. Speaker is on. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, hey, sorry about that. Hey, so I got an overpayment of $41K.
Oh, it's a little tough to hear you. Yeah, if we're on speaker, take us off speaker. If not, just kind of. Uh-oh. What happened? We lost him. We lost him. Let's see if he calls back real quick. I'm not sure what number that was. Also, I'm just going to take whoever the next caller is, then we can always circle back. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We're live on YouTube. Okay, good. Yeah. So walk me through what's going on.
Okay, so anyway, I was on L&I and SSDI when I turned 62. They were doing an offset on something like that before that. I'm not sure what they were doing. But they were doing an offset, compensating each other or something like that. And then when I turned 62, I did not realize I was getting charged overpayments.
Mm-hmm.
So, in April of last year, sorry, I apologize.
Yeah.
So, in April of last year, I got a notification, and they stopped the SSDI and told me I would have like $41K.
Okay.
And because I turned 62 in 2000. I'm sorry about that. I turned 62 in 2022, and I had no idea that I was doing.
Then an overpayment.
I was getting overpayments. Let me get some water here.
Sure.
But anyway, I had no idea that they were overpaying me, and I notified both entities that I was on SSDI,
mm-hmm.
and they were fine with that. And then finally, when they started talking, they went all the way back to when I was 62. And now they want like 41K, or I think it's 39. They stopped all the payments on SSDI, which I don't care. I'm just worried about the overpayment.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, this is...
I don't know if
Yeah. Do you know why the overpayment occurred? Any details specific to it?
Because I turned 62.
And you were getting both benefits at the same time? Like, give me some meat to this thing.
Yeah, I was getting both benefits at the same time. Both, and I guess in March of this year or last year, that's when they started talking together. But they were both notified that I was on L&I before that. I marked my paperwork and all that stuff when I turned it in, and I had no idea. I had no idea that I was doing an overpayment. Otherwise, I would have resolve that, or tried to fix it.
Okay. So I guess what we're talking about here, just to kind of clear things up, what is your defense to that? I mean, what is your defense to not, knowing for all that time that you were paying an overpayment?
I had no idea.
No, I get that.
I had no idea.
Yeah. I need part two of that. Why didn't you have any idea?
I had no idea that was the law, that I was getting overpaid. And I did know, I identified with L&I what was going on with me. And then I guess they started talking to each other. So my defense is I'm just ignorant about the law on that.
Well, okay. So they were overpaying you because they paid you both benefits. You didn't know. Mm-hmm. And they were doing this incorrectly. For how many months did they do this incorrectly?
Well, they had been doing fine up until I turned 62. Once I turned 62, that's when all the overpayments started occurring. And they didn't notify me about that until, 62, 64, about 2 years later.
Yeah, I mean, if they messed it up that bad, I would put a lot of the blame on them, because, they should have caught that way earlier.
Yeah. And what I'm going to do is I am going to do the 1 hour consultation with you. I'm kind of lost at what to do because my kids were getting benefits too, and now they're charging them overpayments.
Yeah, that's the video we did second was actually on that contingency. Yeah. So, all right, contingent beneficiaries. All right, do the 1 hour. And things that I need you to do is make out a timeline of when this whole thing started, how many months it went for, and then basically we're going to go through opportunities that you had to have known, opportunities where you couldn't have known, things like that, to try and build the claim that would make sense for a supplemental attachment onto the 632.
Okay, yeah, I have no problem talking with you offline about that. In fact, I wanted to, but I'm kind of lost at what to do now because okay, so I appreciate that.
Excellent. Well, good, sir. I will catch you at the private session, and I'll take the next call, but you have a wonderful night, okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, good sir. Bye-bye. Real quick, we have Old School Trucker, who's an individual that we've known for a while. He just bought a member, or no, he's a member for 12 months. Looks like basically he got another membership or did something there where it lit up. Just so you guys know, the memberships, there's 2 levels, but most people just get the lower level where they go ahead and support the channel by doing a small, like monthly financial yada yada. But you'll see the little icons next. I swear this chair is going to break on me. I can feel it. You see the little icon next to their name. That's how long they've basically been a member. So that gentleman right there, Old School Trucker, has been a member for a very, very long time. With that said, we've got an individual on the phone. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm so nervous. But basically, I've been dealing with a disability since 2011, and I've been struggling at work with year to year. I've had medical accommodations, but now my condition is starting to get worse.
Okay.
Would 11 years of medical accommodations and medical history be enough to get me probably in the door for disability?
It's not about so much the length of time as it is the severity and when you became severe, because you could have 11 years of not severe enough, but it does help show what we call the longitudinal line of basically how your impairment began, what was going on, how it became more severe. Because, a lot of people will go ahead and essentially apply, right? And what will happen is they won't have their claim fully developed. So they'll get bad. And then, 6 months after they became bad, they're applying for disability and they don't really have the medical documentation buildup. You don't have that problem. You've got the buildup. Now, the only question is, when did you become severe enough to get the approval that, results from your impairment?
Well, basically, I spend my whole day doing everything I can just to be able to work 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have a vestibular issue, so it's not that I don't have my cognitive abilities. I just don't always have the ability to access them. So at any given moment, weather condition, stress, all of a sudden I just cognitively shut down or run out of steam.
Mm-hmm.
And it's getting to the point where I'm only making it 3 hours a day. So my being able to work is diminished since Christmas. I fell too. So I have a vestibular issue.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Have the doctors filled out any RFC letters to kind of put their nickel down as to how bad you actually are?
No, they've just been maintaining me on medicine for vestibular migraines. I've also suffered a severe C. diff poisoning the same year. It was a year of health. And so now I'm still dealing with IBS issues, and I'm going to all those specialists as well. So I've got orthopedic, vestibular, and gut issues that are just, I want to crawl under a table and cry.
Now, okay, so normally,
I'm still trying to work.
Yeah, if I had more time, I would tell you the transition. So the things you need to focus on now are what programs exist with your current vocation, your job, that allow you to transition through the waiting period onto disability benefits to make it easier for you. Because, there's workers' comp, there's LTD, there's short-term disability benefits, stuff like that through the private insurance realm. But
no, I don't work enough to qualify for anything.
Okay, so that doesn't mean you can't purchase into something or begin the process of seeing what's available and seeing what restrictions are on what they'll allow you to purchase. But the bottom line is you need to look into your options there and see what's available, because from people who have been consistently working for a while and then have their hours reduced and reduced and reduced, what they don't say, but it's very true, is that basically, they are running out of funds because they're using up a lot of their reserve funds to just try and make it happen. And, they're going through that push to try and make it happen. So are you in a situation where, a year and a half, 2 years, you'd be in trouble if you didn't have income coming in?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So bottom line is, just keeping that aware. Most people, exact same situation. If you don't get an approval, you're going to be in a sticky spot, not so good spot.
Right.
And as a result of that, you have to kind of plan accordingly financially with how you're going to, make this thing work. So that this is more of a bigger conversation situation where we go through types of assets you have, types of jobs you can do, keeping it under SGA, having failed work attempts with the SSA while applying for your Title II benefits for SSDI, stuff like that. What is the legal question you have in one sentence, so I can try and do it and then keep going to the next caller, because yours is a bigger thing.
Right.
But what's the next? What's the itty bitty question? Yeah.
Should I just go ahead and start applying now since I'm struggling at work?
Yeah. So here's the thing. You have to plan a bunch of stuff, but the quick and simple answer is, how much are you earning per month?
At 5.5 hours, 17 hours a month, I'm actually over the limit, but
Okay.
I haven't been able to maintain 5 hours even.
All right. So you're on your
And I work
approach.
from home.
Yeah.
I work from home, so I've done everything I can to keep working.
Okay. So they're giving you accommodations. You're going to be under SGA soon. You need to file tomorrow, or actually today, because it's 12:46 a.m. So you need to go ahead and file tomorrow and begin the process of it, because 3 months into it, before they even look at your earnings, you know what I mean? It'll take them 3 months to at least get it from the local FO field office to DDS. And DDS probably won't even look at your detailed earnings query or summary earnings query or new hire earnings query until even farther down the line. So file tomorrow or today. Technically it's today. So January 8th today. The other thing that you need to know is that you want to file for both SSDI and SSI, because you don't know financially where you're going to be if they deny you a couple of times. What is your current age, or at least, a year close to your current age?
I'm 53.
All right. So you got the grid out potential of 50 to 55. So you're going to have to play the game for light and sedentary to try and make that happen. Let me ask you this: with your current job, when are they expected to fire you, considering, they've given you accommodations, it's not working out, and you're losing footing?
They haven't yet. I actually got a second accommodation that they've approved for an additional 16 hours off my regular work schedule. But if I can't even maintain that, eventually my reliability is going to be an issue.
Okay.
And I'm not doing much. I mean, if I can't help work, they're not going to have a reason to keep me around.
So let's just assume 3 to 6 months termination will occur, correct?
Fine.
Okay. So I guess what I would say with this whole situation is, just to kind of make things clear, your whole thing here is you have to kind of plan out your timeline as to what you're going to do, what types of other jobs you're going to have, how you're going to structure them to look like failed work attempts, and then ultimately, what this is all going to come down to. So, because your whole goal is to be found disabled as quickly as possible on an SSDI train to be able to get that monthly check in the Medicare option. So what I would say is this: you can always call in next Thursday and we can keep working. You can do one of those private hours. You can always give me a call tomorrow at the office for representation. But there's a lot of little things that you have to prepare for your transition, because if you don't get it right the first go around, then you're going to be running low on funds, because your age bracket, if they expedite it, you're looking at 10 to 12 months. If they don't expedite it, it's like 14 to 18 months. So it's one of those types of situations. And remember, we don't know what the SSA is going to be doing when the new commissioner comes in under Trump. We know he's a super CEO, efficient person, but we don't know if a lot of people are going to quit and what's going to happen.
Well, and I appreciate all you've been doing, and that's why I've been watching your show to prepare myself, because going into a courtroom, even with a judge for SSA, is intimidating.
Sure. No, absolutely. But sounds good. I will catch you a little bit later. Let me keep going through these calls though, because I'm supposed to keep it to like 5-7 minutes. But I will catch you a little bit later. Yeah, and just start to get stuff together so that when we do the call, you kind of have timelines for me, financial amounts in reserve, things that can be sold, that can be used to keep your head above water, and then three potential occupations that you could also do. That you could line up to kind of keep things rolling. That way you're not, completely without funds. And then we'll go through, failed work attempts. And then we'll also talk about earways, which are your deductible expenses against basically the SGA amount.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Have a good day tomorrow. Get some sleep.
Thank you, madam. Thank you. Bye-bye. Perfect. So we're going to do, I think, let's take a look real quick. Let's take a look real quick. We're going to be doing one more phone call. There were a bunch of people who called in. I didn't get to see all of them. Here's the next one that's just calling in right now. I'm going to click the speaker button. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. What is your legal question? Go ahead.
Yes, my question is, I had made too much money for...
Oh, your phone cut out there. Are you there?
Oh, it did. So I had made too much money last 2024.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
And so when I added up like what I made over the year, I only made a difference of like $1,359 over for the total.
Okay.
And I know they go monthly, but I worked for a school system, and I told them that there would be like days that I wouldn't be working, and even weeks. And I said, is there a way to combine that to where, it would equal out? And they said, yeah, you could do that. And then I got a letter in October saying that I made too much money and that I had an overpayment of $11,000.
Okay.
So I did turn in a
632
reconsideration.
Oh, an appeal. Okay, so 561.
And then they said it'd take like 60 days. But I'm kind of in a jam because, like, I do work part-time. But I don't go over my hours because I have lots of medical things that so how would I know? I mean, what do they look at? Just the financial part?
Well, no, I mean, they look at everything. Your knowledge base, was there fraud? Was there similar fault? How could you have known? Did you know? Was there anything that they missed? What was the, timeline of how things occurred? They look at everything. It's not just financial, but they do look at your bank account stuff.
Oh, they can just automatically get that?
Well, yeah, they can, yeah, you sign a form that allows them to access your bank account information. So they basically go into it and they can, in 30 seconds, pull up your bank accounts, wherever you have them within the country and slightly outside of the country as well.
Okay. Well, I was still going through my money trying to pay my bills. So the money I made paid my bills. But now they took it away. I make $1,300 a month, which means I can't pay my bills. Like my car payment takes a third of that $1,300. And I know if I go get another job, they'll use it against me.
As an SGA limitation.
I mean?
Yeah. And I'm assuming you've used your, 9-month trial work period and your 3-month extended eligibility period.
Yeah, because I've been on it since 2012 or 13.
I mean, so here's the thing. I'd have to know more, like with these overpayment calls, like what happened when, to understand, what it came down to and what they're hitting you for. And a lot of things that people don't get from the SSA is an accounting letter as to, how much basically, putting it very simply, how much, essentially you, whatchamacallit, like, where the overpayment occurred, how much it was per month, so on and so forth. Like, did you ever get a letter that explained by month, what the overpayment was?
No.
Okay, so start there.
Did a letter.
Yeah, because that's going to be important for you to understand exactly why you're in this situation to begin with.
Because, they just gave me a letter saying that I had gotten too much money from April on, or from January to April.
Mm-hmm.
And then they still paid me through November, but then now they say that it's all an overpayment, so they want that money back.
Mm-hmm.
And what I roughly did is I pretty much made my own kind of spreadsheet that has who I got paid by, the dates I got paid, how much I got paid. Then I added it up and I put the gross pay and the net pay. And I did that for every month except for the last 2 weeks in December because I'd already sent it.
Did you also go through the
And then I screwed it
deductibles?
up.
Like what you're considering to be a deductible against it?
No, I just put like over. I put like if it was over, I would put over, and if I was short that month, then I'd put short.
Yeah, but did you do like an impairment related work expense analysis to see like what was deductible and what wasn't, and did that get you under an additional months?
Like, what do you mean a work expense?
All right,
Like,
so
I don't
go research.
anything.
Yeah, go type into the
I don't even
go-
offer doing that stuff.
go type into Google SSA space IRWE. Again, SSA space IRWE, because they're going to be looking for an analysis as to what's deductible against what you actually earned.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I'll check that out.
Perfect.
And then I should contact them and ask them for like.
Well, I mean, have you already submitted the 632 or did you go full 561 right off the bat?
I submitted the paperwork they gave me.
Well, okay. Do you have a copy of
I
it?
would not. I believe so. I took a picture of it.
Okay.
Because I sent it online.
Okay.
So I would expect a copy of it.
Okay.
I sent 2 of them because the first one I didn't get.
Okay.
Although I had a message come back saying that it was sent.
Okay. So I guess my point to you is, you got to do an earway analysis and submit that based off of your analysis of each month. And, that'll be your argument case to try and reduce each month that they claimed overpayment for you to reduce the actual amount per month.
And I do it by, you're saying debt or by,
No, you take
how do I do
you take gross earnings, you find what your IRWEs are going to be, and you subtract them against your gross earnings to try and get under SGA for that year, for that month.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might be calling you and figuring out if I did it right or.
Sure. Yeah.
So I had a lawyer when I first got on it because I was denied, and then I had to get a lawyer, and then it was fine. I got it, but I really don't know what I'm doing.
Sure. Yeah. No worries. But sounds good. I have to go to basically get ready for bed because I've got to go work with the homeless at the SRC office. But I will catch you later. Go ahead and reach out when you can. And we'll kind of talk about that, but do research the Google SSA IRWEs. That way we can kind of kick things off with you thinking about options that fit inside that to get the accounting letter written to kind of go that direction. But I will catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful night, okay?
Thanks, you too.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, perfect. So we are at 34 minutes. We do about 30 minutes. I am going to go ahead and end it there because I do have to wake up at 7 a.m. to go to the Samaritan Resource Center and work with the homeless. I got to get out of this county and go to the next county over. I will catch you all a little bit farther down the line. You have a wonderful, wonderful night. Please remember to like. Please remember to subscribe. Also, with that said, I go live usually on Mondays and Thursdays to answer questions for the general public about their Social Security benefits. And if you have a bigger question, and overpayments tend to fall into the bigger question category, there is a 1-hour private session contract below where you can always go ahead and catch up with me for a private session. Attorney Walter Hnot, the most viewed and subscribed to Disability Attorney in America. I will catch you a little bit later. And you have a wonderful, wonderful night. Sleep well. And we are almost to the weekend. Ish. We're coming up on Wednesday. I'll catch you later. Thank you so much. Have fun, everybody. All right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.